Okay. Old business, the electric transformer.
Yeah, that shouldn't be on there. There's nothing for that. I just didn't get it taken off.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to clerk's report. First thing that I want to, we'll start with 831. Should have been the first one that you saw. First thing is, I should tell you that all of the accounts on here, except for the wellness center checking. So if you just want to put a mark by that one.
Mm-hmm.
The community center main savings and the community center, all of the accounts except those three are reconciled to the bank. Now, the community center main savings is really close. I don't have some interest in there. And Rob's looking at it saying, how come it's not 21,000? It is on the next one. One thing that I have to do with the community center account, the 147, I have to get a little more information from Barb to get that updated, because there's more than $4,000 in there. It's probably closer to 10, I believe. So then,
as of when are you looking at the 831 or the 930?
no, we're just talking about 831
okay.
right now, Ray.
Okay.
And then if you go down to accounts receivable, that's zero. I moved $10,979.01 out of there. John came over after the last meeting and said that that should not be zero. That was money that I moved out of accounts receivable probably the first part of August. It was a Wilma Gosh donation, so shouldn't have been in accounts receivable in the first place. It should have been in donations, grants, and so that's where it's at. It's in the pool renovation fund. Are there any questions on this first page here?
The pool renovation fund says $1,500. You said you moved 10,000 there?
That's park renovation fund.
That's park. Yeah. Where's pool?
Pool is the West Side State, the third one from the top.
63.
63, okay.
So you moved that accounts receivable into that fund? Is that what you're telling me?
Actually, it's not moved into this one on the front page. It's moved into the revenue fund.
Okay.
It's been in this account for a while.
Okay.
It just wasn't in the revenue fund.
Okay. But you're going to move it to the donation fund or whatever pool. Are you going to put it in the pool? That 10?
It is.
It is, or it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to look at that, go to the third page, first page of the general fund. About right in the middle, it says pool renovation fund. 29,368. While we're on that page, go down to general property tax, 3/4 of the way down. You'll notice that the budget's 20,000 and the balance is 88. We should get a large check in October. Everybody pays their taxes in September, so
Yeah.
it looks to me like we get a big one in April and in October.
Mm-hmm.
And that is on the very last page of this group. It's an activity report for the general property taxes, the account that we were just looking at. Shows you that there was a $52,800 deposit in 10/31 of last year, and then this year there was a $45,000 one in April. So I'm making an assumption here, but it looks to me like we should get a big check in October.
Does that go into the general fund then?
Yep.
So that'll help the general fund.
Yeah, and I think some of it will go to TIF. I don't know for sure how that'll break out. So then if you guys want to scroll back to the road use fund, Steve was just asking me how much money was in that. $120,001. So that's where the $43,000 will come out of.
So we've still got a little room to repair our streets.
Yeah, I don't think we want to spend it all.
No, I agree with you, but
So if there's no questions there, if you guys want to go back to the electric fund. You look there and you see the
three highlighted.
Yeah, the three that are highlighted, and then the $33,794. These three that I highlighted are equipment necessarily isn't one that I wanted to talk about, but operating supplies is where we put the meters, and contractual services is where we put Larry Chapman. So those are going to be a little bit higher right now because we spent that one-time money. But as Mark and I will talk about when we get down to electric meters, sounds to me like it's done us some good to change those meters around.
You raised my electric bill at the store.
Which may not be good for you, but
Quite a bit.
$200 a month.
That's quite a bit.
not as bad as the telephone company, Rob.
That makes me feel better.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Okay, then flip the page. And Ray was in the other day and we were talking about natural gas. We've got 24,000 net income up till now. And I just thought, well, what kind of percentage is that? That's after expenses. That's 14%. That's pretty decent after expenses. So and we've been hooking a lot of people up.
Natural gas.
A lot.
Really?
What'd you say, Mark, the other day? We had 24 meters and now we're down to 5?
Well, like a year or so ago, we had 24, we're down to nothing. So I ordered another 24, and I think we got 5 or 6 out of that already.
And Jan Mary looking at it.
She hasn't talked to me.
She's going to.
She talking about hooking up
Who's that?
to her house, or? Yeah.
Who's that?
Jan Mary.
Yeah, we got a meter hung on her house already.
Did ya?
Yep. So she's gonna hook up.
Good. So that's that clerk's report. And that one I would like some action on tonight. The next one, I didn't get reconciled. We didn't get the bank statement until late in the week, so I didn't get reconciled. But the first thing that jumps off the page is cash in the bank is negative $27,000. Well, I was telling Ray today that since we changed our utility billing dates, there's $18,782.06 that I know of for sure of electric that should have been in September that we got in the 3rd of October. So, and then there was $71,637.29, that's all WIE, of natural gas that was the same thing. That we got in their automatic debits, so they didn't hit in September, they hit in October. So if you add that, that's 90,000 something. I don't remember what the number is. if you add that to it, it looks a lot better than negative 27,000. And that's what I was telling you about before. Last time we did this, when we wrote checks, we were really close. And I knew these dollar amounts were coming in, so I didn't want to transfer money if this was going to come into the bank. So the bank account never got to zero.
What was the amount of the bills we approved for last month? For last meeting?
130
Yeah.
something, was it, Franny?
I believe it was, if I remember right.
Yeah, just looking here, there's 145,000 difference between cash and bank to start with, and for the, 2 months.
Yeah.
But we also shifted some money someplace.
You know, Ray, that's a good question, though. I will make sure I know that answer at the next meeting.
Because we're showing a deficit of 145, 146.
Somewhere, yeah, 145, you're right. Actually, it's 146.
But we're showing,
But if you take the 90,000 from WIE,
Well, and then we did have I guess you guys wouldn't notice this anywhere, but we had a sweep out of our account of $5,000. That's, if our checking account gets down low enough, they sweep out of our, no, they don't charge us, they sweep it out of our savings account.
oh,
So we don't get any overdraft charges.
and I see the bond and interest savings, that's up 20,000.
Yeah, because we made transfers last, at the last meeting. And if you look at the one in the middle, 4150, that's up $2,500, Ray. Then go all the way to the bottom, and that bond payment's up 697708. I don't know how we came up with that number, but
The other one I was looking at was the community center 147, where you
Yep.
showed a positive of 4208, and then you got a negative of 47.
yeah, and that's the one I told you I got to work on, because we've been getting checks from those guys and putting them in the savings account. So if you look at the savings account there, the 21,346.57, that's about just right with the bank. There's a little bit of interest that's not in there. But I've been having to take it from somewhere, so I'm taking it from the checking account, which I don't see the checking account every day.
depleted.
What I was looking at, Chris, on that was the expenses for the community center was only 3,000 something, there's a swing of 8,000.
But, Ray, there hasn't been anything done in that account for probably since October of last
I'd say
year.
about a year.
Where's that? It was
See,
somewhere I was reading.
Barb Goodner has that checkbook. She gets those statements, everything.
Someplace I saw it was like $3,700
It's in the general fund.
general
You're
fund.
too far, yeah. One more, probably.
Page 4 is the community center
Well, here it
expenditures.
is, yeah.
Yeah, one more. No, one more yet, sorry. Just keep going, one more, you'll get there.
Yeah. That's expenditures for this month was $3,019.95.
But see,
That's what I was looking at, was a big swing, there's $8,000 swing there from what,
that hits our general account. That doesn't really have anything to do with our checking or savings account on the front page.
it should have something to do with this, though, shouldn't it?
Nope,
No,
that doesn't.
how that works, Ray, is if you go back to page 1, you have the community center. I guess
Just 47.
1147 is
Yeah.
the community center checking account. That's one Barb's got in her hand.
Yeah.
then what we do is we just write a check whenever we get money ahead, and then we put it in the community center main savings. The reason we do that is then if we need to use that money for community center, we just use it.
Big capital expenditures.
Yeah, if
Like-
we would have something going,
like the
like when we
carpets.
repainted the building, then we passed that we would repaint the building, and then we would
Or bought machines.
put in we bought new tables, we bought new chairs, more upstairs. Then if you go up, the community center main CD 1142 is the 31,672. That's monies that we raised at that last time we raised them, and the Gil Renzi money came in, the Elmer Wallison money, and then the rest of the monies that people gave. That's the money we had left, and that's 31,672. It's in a CD. We'd like to add some of that 21,346 to it, but they won't let us. So when that
Till
CD comes due,
2013.
we may transfer some of that up there into that, or we may not, you know, I mean, that's something we need to look at. The other one, 1143, is the one that's just merely paying off Corn Belt Power for their loan here. We set that up in a series of CDs so they would come due when the payment on the bond came due. But yeah, why is the community center at minus 4719? You know, that's what Chris said, he still has to work on that.
Yeah, that's.
We've always just listed that at $5,000
Mhm.
because that's what the city gave community center to start out with, is $5,000, and that's what they've tried to maintain in that balance all the time, is the $4,000 in there plus $1,000 cash to run the business with.
Yeah, I know there was $5,000 start with it.
And this is the first time I've ever seen it change like this, you know.
Mhm.
Myself, I prefer that we just keep it at 5,000 and say it's at 5,000. Now, if we feel we need to get more scrutinized, you know, I know that our auditors said that we needed to do more because it still is under the control of
Still
the city,
city,
but
yeah.
we
Well,
don't have
and-
much control.
And, you know, Barb's been giving me the statements every 2 months or whenever you guys have a meeting now.
Mhm.
So I can keep this about right. Now, if we just want $5,000 in there, I can do that too. That's no
Well, to me,
problem.
that's the city's obligation that they put in there.
Yeah. That was your operating capital or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
was what we
exactly
did
what it
start
is.
with,
When-
yeah.
When they
I
get up to
think-
9,000, they write a check and we put it in
Yeah.
the savings account.
Yeah.
Everybody gets, you know.
See, I think we did something
You
like,
just
something
check
the same
that
way
out
about
and
with
get
the
back to
wellness
next
center,
meeting.
maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'll just change it
The
to
wellness center
5,000
needs to transfer some money too because it's
I'll
at
have that.
10,000 right now.
Okay, we don't need no motion or anything, do we?
Nope, not for that, no.
No.
I'll just keep it at
I
5,000
think
and
it's just
we'll,
less confusing to leave it at the 5,000 because that's actually what the city's obligation to that was.
and actually the wellness center, Rob, is at about 12,000. I've got to get that one changed around too. But, you know, we still need to talk about if we need to take some money out of that one too. I mean, that's not something probably that we'll do here. You bring us a
Well,
recommendation and,
I should probably get together with our representative now for the wellness center too. And I should just get together with that committee and we should say, you know, that we need to transfer something. Because the wellness center doesn't need that much money in there. They'd need $5,000 to have in there because it costs $2,500 to come have the machines looked at and updated, you know, and repaired and all that.
Well, that's where you had that 5,000 originally in there or something, so you wouldn't have to come back to us every
That's
time.
right. And that's why I think, you know, the city's obligation should just read 5,000 there every time. That's what I think. Rather than trying to keep,
Well-
because we're always gonna be off quite a ways.
well, yeah, I mean, especially it's like every 2 months that you guys meet, then I'll get something, so.
Where would you move that wellness money to? What fund?
Rob was talking about putting that
the
into the
community center
CD
main
too.
savings.
Oh, okay.
See that, you know, the wellness center also contributes, and they did get the wellness room painted, they got the carpets cleaned, you know, they get the machines worked on, and they, you know, they'll still go ahead and pay for the machines worked on, but as far as the renovation of the building and upkeep on that, we did take that out of the community center main savings when we were doing that before.
We still got a lot of people coming into there, into the,
Yeah,
This is the time of year that more will now.
because
Yeah.
it's close to winter time.
Yeah, there'll be more people, but I would say we have a steady crew of probably 20 people 25 maybe?
I'd say 20, 25, you're probably
Yeah.
pretty close, right?
That use it year-round.
We've got,
There's other people that buy memberships and they start and then they, you know, then they don't make it. That's always true of the community, that's always true of the wellness center, you know, people always got the initiative to go do it, then they pay their money, then they don't use it as much as they do.
they get excited about it, and then they...
Mary won that 6 months, and she religiously was down here for 6 months, and then she renewed it for like 3 months, and now she kind of dropped off. I understand where you're coming from, Rob.
Yeah.
I just don't know why she dropped off, because
But,
not-
you know, I still think it's a great asset. I would like to see more of our senior citizens use it, and I haven't seen many of them really, you know, just for the walking part of it. But I don't know if they're scared of the machines. Maybe we should have the wellness committee do some kind of a training session on them.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah. Because they really, you know, I think it would be a nice asset for those people. They can set them at a very slow pace, you know, they don't have to set them up at, or you know, it just would be a nice, and they could do some very light training on the
lifting machines.
lifting machines, yeah, just for range of motion type things, you know.
Isn't there bicycles down there too?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's just about everything in there.
Yeah, it's well equipped.
Yeah, you don't really want for anything when you're in there.
It's just a question of people that need to know how to use it, as much as anything.
Yeah.
You guys have any more questions for Chris on the...
Well, wait a minute, let's keep going through this now.
Okay.
On the second one there, on 930, turn to the first page of the general fund and look at that highlighted one there. That's a donation to the fire department.
At 5,000?
Yep. Well, it wasn't a donation, it was a grant that the bank gave us. Now, I never wanted to put that in a donation because I want it to be, I want the fire department to be able to see that that's the fire department's grant. So I made a new account that says fire department not renovation, donations probably. I don't remember exactly what I called it, but it's just right below. It's not in here yet. It will be.
Okay.
It's right below FEMA disaster 1877. So that money will be moved next time you guys see this.
Yeah, because you could really read a lot into it. It could be pool donations, it could be...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just all kinds of donations.
Yeah.
And it, you know, we need to be able to tell whose it is or what it's for. I mean, so...
I think when you put it in there, make sure you get the siren tied to it, so that we know that's what it's going for.
That's what it was for,
Yes.
yeah.
I think that's very crucial.
That's in the notes.
I don't want to see a fireman.
Oh, we got $5,000 in on with the donation.
And you got to try to explain to them. And
Okay, next, Chris?
Well, if you just keep going back, the road use fund, then now that's $127,000. We get a deposit every month for that. Oh, John.
Out of that 127,000, we gotta pull that 43 out of there, right?
Yep.
Whatever that was for bills to be paid.
43,880 something.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, so go back to the electric fund.
electric fund?
Yep. And you guys will notice that that's a negative now. That partially is because of that $18,000 that didn't get deposited in September.
Oh, okay. Because we moved the billing cycle.
Right. And then if you look at those three numbers that I showed you earlier, the operating supplies is $53,000. That's got $40,000 worth of meters in it, which is a one-time expense. And like we talked about before, we think those are doing a lot of good. So what I did is I added in the $18,000 that didn't get deposited, and actually that would be a positive $4,500 in that account. And if you flip the page, the natural gas is the exact same way. John, what I'm talking about there is, since we changed the billing date from the 22nd to the 30th, or the due date, I mean, we missed about $90,000 worth of revenue in September. It came in October 3rd instead of in the end of September. 18,000 of it was electric and 71,000 of it was gas. And that's about it for that one.
On the, debit service fund,
Yeah, John, would you help me out with that one? I saw that one too, I don't know.
Which one?
The
debit
debt service fund.
ending 9/30/11.
Is that because we haven't got any TIF?
No, that's, the principal and interest is every month on REC loan. We pay that every month. But if we put that on our taxes, our first tax receipts won't come in until probably this month.
This month, October, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll end up in October tax receipts.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier.
So, I would pay that every month. We have a payment, so.
He said we should be getting a pretty good check
Yeah.
in October.
Yeah, we get about 6 months worth of it, which is, I don't know, maybe about,
50,000 was last year.
not for debt service. It seems
No.
like we bond around some less than 20. That sound right?
Still going backwards in the garbage and landfill, anyway.
Yep.
Is there any way to change that around without increasing garbage rates?
Is some of that because of the late payments too?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a
Because they
lot.
wouldn't have paid that till after the first of the month, a lot of them are,
Well,
that shouldn't make.
but the reason why those other two are rated, those are automatic transfers. That's how I know. I mean, there's gonna be some, but I don't know. And there's more than the 90,000 too that we missed out on. I just don't know exactly how much it is. The reason I can tell you those two is because they were automatic transfers.
So then that will happen every time we have,
Well, it should even out. It should even out.
Next month should be even again.
yeah, but when
Not
we get to-
necessarily next month, but
when we get to the first, like 3 months from now, and the first falls on a weekend again,
Oh,
we'll get slashed again.
yeah. I mean, it all really looks the same in our bank account. It just doesn't look as
Sure.
maybe good on our,
On paper.
Report.
right.
I mean, it actually moved things the other way. Instead of getting it on the first, we don't always get it on the first, and we have to pay it on the first, or do we not pay it till the third anyway, too?
What do you mean pay electric?
Yeah, pay our electric or pay our, so we don't.
We did that last meeting.
Yeah.
that
So,
would've been-
That would
that'd be
come
next-
off
that's
last
what I say,
month.
next month will be bigger because you get an extra 10 days in there.
I remember writing that, or
No.
signing that check.
Yeah,
Our
from the
bill?
20th Yeah, from the 20th, then you go from the 20th to the following first.
No,
But
We
was
should have done that.
we already did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's one of the reasons why your bill was a little bit higher too, Rob.
I
There was an
understand
extra
that,
10
yeah,
days.
it was considerably
Are you
higher,
talking
but
about
I'm
what
just-
we
I'm
get
just
billed
saying
for,
I'm-
Ray?
Yeah, I'm gaining
Yeah, well, okay,
$200
no,
a
no,
month.
what we
Switch my
collected
meter.
for last month or whatever.
Or the city's gaining on me, $200
Which is
a month since they
due,
switched
whatever
my
it was,
meter.
I don't know what your due date was on. It used to be October 20th, now I think it was what, first of,
Our due date will be October 31st for this month.
yeah.
It was September 30th.
Mhm. But what I'm saying is that every time the 30th or 31st falls on the weekend, we're gonna get stung.
See, yeah, since it lands on Monday, we should be okay
This month.
this month,
Every
right?
third month, we're gonna get dinged just the way we did last month.
Yeah.
Because we won't get our large payment of natural gas, we won't get our large payment of electricity.
Until the 3rd, or whenever, yeah.
You know, whatever
Whatever the
weekend
next day
comes
is.
out.
3 times a year anyway.
Yeah, that's all the questions I've got.
John, did you have any questions about the clerk's reports?
I did ask him to leave this one just at 5,000 because that was the city's investment originally in there. It's the community checking, the normal checking account. He's trying to balance it to the nickel, you know. I think we should just leave that at 5,000 because that's what the city originally put in there.
Right.
So that's the city's investment in it. Well, I would move we would accept the clerk's report from 8/31.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to accept the clerk's report from 8/31. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay.